Exactly 2 weeks away from election night, and many are concerned that Portland could see a repeat of 2016. That was when President Trump was elected. People, as you see here, took to the streets, burning flags, pushing around dumpsters that were on fire, and blocking roads and local interstates. Portland Police and the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office have announced they're teaming up to prepare what could happen this time around. And now we know Portland Fire and Rescue is doing the same, working to make sure no matter what, people are safe.
Fox 12's Bridget Chavez is live tonight where a group has gathered at the ICE building. Bridget, you spoke with a firefighter about what Portland Fire and Rescue's role will be on election night. What are some of their concerns?
Yeah, well, right now, this has been declared an unlawful assembly by federal agents. They pushed this group back from the ICE building. They marched over here from Carruthers Park, and an interesting situation unfolding. They're playing music. We're seeing people dancing in front of the police line there. And the people that we see out here have been out here night after night for the past 120 plus days. So they're prepared when they come out here. But the main concern from firefighters is for those people on election night that don't do this every night. They say firefighters are doing everything they can to make sure we don't see a repeat of 2016. Scenes like this aren't an unusual or surprising sight for those in Portland who have seen nightly demonstrations around the city since May. Now, Portland Fire and Rescue is looking ahead and working to make sure this election night isn't a repeat of what we saw in 2016.
We've been thinking of strategies that we can use to try to mitigate some of those things that we saw. At the end of the day, like I said, a lot of it is so dependent on the things that people cook up at their homes and how the election goes and what their feelings are at that particular hour or minute. You know, it just takes one person to make a really bad decision to just throw something into chaos.
Many who participate regularly in these demonstrations come prepared with gas masks, helmets, and protective gear. But it's those who are unfamiliar with the changing atmosphere of the protests that worry Portland Fire and Rescue Lieutenant Damon Simmons.
They get caught up in the moment and excited, and then they find themselves stuck in those crowds, and it can be difficult for some people who aren't in those situations very often.
Simmons acknowledges that people may be out to celebrate or protest results, but wants everyone to be aware of their surroundings.
There's, people in these crowds that bring bear spray, and there's, anything you can think of out there in these crowds.
He says most of Portland Fire and Rescue's response during these events are medical, and says the threat of people using fire as a weapon is still a major concern for firefighters.
And that's the reality of what we're dealing with here. People are doing things that can set other people on fire. And that, to me, the fact that it's become something that we have to be ready to deal with day to day is just incredibly unbelievable.
And to start this direct action march, the group actually painted these signs and hung them up outside the ICE building. Some of the signs originally were hung up by students at a nearby school, but they were torn down over the weekend. And again, they came out here just to put those signs back up, showing support for the Black Lives Matter movement. They were outside in front of the ICE building for a little while, and that's whenever federal agents declared this again an unlawful assembly. They've been facing off with police for the past 15-20 minutes, and now we're just kind of seeing people dancing in front of the line there, playing music. Folks have been using umbrellas kind of as a shield that way, and they're just facing off at this point. We're going to continue to follow this, but for election night, Simmons tells me that they will have extra firefighters on standby in case they're needed. Reporting live in South Portland, Bridget Chavez, Fox 12 Oregon.